Welcome to the Know Nothing Show with Alan Elkins and Rich Freedman, who've been in the legal profession for over 30 years and now want to share their experience and knowledge with you. Hey, maybe they do know a little something. You can join Alan and Rich by calling in toll-free 1-800-889-0267 or watch them on elkinsandfreedman.com on Friday nights. Now your hosts for the next hour, Alan Elkins and Rich Freedman.
Hey now, good evening, everybody. I'm Alan Elkins, along with
Richard Freedman, his partner for 34 years.
34 years. A little chilly in here tonight, Richard, but we'll carry on. I think it's coming from the other side of the room. But we'll push right through the show.
All right.
Didn't even crack a smile. Now, let me tell you, we have a lovely guest with us tonight, Richard.
And who is that?
Thank you.
Well, let me just say, in addition to our regular cast of characters, that's Freddie the producer, his lovely assistant Linda the producer. We have Lynn the board op. Hi, Lynn the board op. And Lynn, you're awful quiet tonight. Are you not talking to us either?
I said hello. I thought you were going to keep talking.
I am going to keep talking because I understand I do that a lot. And we have with us tonight, actually, she's a client of mine. She's been a client now for several years.
Really?
Several years.
You're holding back.
Yeah,
we can.
We'll see if she wants to talk about it. But her name is Nicole.
Nicole.
And I knew her as one name. I knew her as Nicole. What was your old name?
Jorgensen.
That's right. I knew her as Nicole Jorgensen. And when you decided to become a single swinging lady, you then went back to what? Your maiden name?
My maiden name.
And which is what?
Quintavalli.
All right, Quintavalli.
That sounds like an Italian name.
Nice
It
Italian
does sound
girl.
like an Italian name.
That's what I am.
Now, I know your Mama Quintavalli, Donna's listening, right?
Yes, she is.
All
Shout
right.
out. Mom.
So you got to make Mom proud tonight. You can't say anything embarrassing.
Yeah,
No, you can't
and
say
try not to
anything
embarrass our guests.
Yeah, I'll do my best, although that's part of my charm. And we almost had a friend of yours come, but she chickened out
Yeah.
at the last minute, correct?
A couple of them, yes. They
A
both
couple
did.
of them.
So
Wow.
I think we're going to have to try to call them and embarrass them on the air if we can.
Oh, sure.
I know we're going to embarrass herself. But in the meantime, anybody that wants to call us, I'll hold up the numbers. I don't think I've ever done that. Somebody's been doodling on the numbers. But in the Palm Beach area, it's 561-844-6167 or 1-800, anywhere in this country of ours, 1-800-889-0267. So, as we always do, let's talk about the week, Richard. What kind of week has it been for you?
Oh, boy. Don't even ask.
Oh, well, good.
One headache case after the next.
Well, actually, I don't know if my ex-wife's listening because I'm taking her back to reduce my alimony.
Oh, yeah, I
but
can't
we
wait
did
for that
get a
to
little.
happen.
We did get a little busy
I
this
can't
week.
wait till she gets it cut in half.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, she'd like to cut it in half, but I'd like to cut the alimony. But anyway, we've had actually some very interesting cases this week, haven't we?
And we're still working on them.
We are. We have.
I got a hearing that's coming up on Monday. That
You cover a hearing
that you
for
kind
me?
of had me cover for you.
That's right. I have a mediation I got to do on Monday, and then I got to drive up to Orlando, and I have a fascinating case, which I'm not really at liberty to talk about, but it's just it's probably a very interesting case, and if I can next week, I'll talk about it.
Maybe next week after, you'll see what happens.
We will try. Now, Nicole, what kind of week has it been for you? What do you do, Nicole? Tell everybody.
I work in a plastic surgery office, and I do all the aesthetics, massage, laser hair removal, make people beautiful.
Okay, now are these women you make beautiful or also men or something in between?
I don't discriminate.
Is that right? So, for instance, do you do like the back waxing, that type of thing?
Laser on the back. Actually, I did that
Laser?
today.
Did you really?
What is laser on the back?
Laser
What is
hair
that?
removal for hairy backs.
Well, now the question is, was that on a man or a woman? That's what I want to know.
That would be a man. I have not yet done a woman's back, no.
Jeez. God help us if you're removing a lot of hair from the back.
That would
So
be sad.
it's not where you put that wax on and you pull it off?
No, that's the old-fashioned way to get rid of hair. Now we have a little laser beam that just shoots a hot laser into the hair follicle.
And what happens to the
kills
hair?
Kills it.
Does
Kills
it ever grow, it comes back?
Most likely not. No.
Never, so it's only
So,
a
one shot
Most
deal.
likely. Well, no, you have to do it a few times, and each time it's like 20% gone until it's gone after 5-6 times.
All right, so the obvious question for men, I assume, have you ever done it anywhere on a man other than his back?
Oh yeah.
Are
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
It just
Where else is there?
well, I got to ask this: Do any men choose to have some of their private parts lasered?
I personally have not had that experience, but I hear in Miami it's like a very popular service.
What, like a Brazilian type
Yes.
thing?
Yeah, manscaping they call it.
Manscaped.
Manscaping.
Yeah, it's
But
very
let me
Look into that.
yeah, you look into it,
It
Richard.
could be good for you guys.
But this laser, the laser, is it like hot? Do you
Yes,
feel anything?
it's hot. You feel it for sure. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, and let me ask you, and for the
The
women,
old-fashioned way with the wax, that hurts.
well, yeah, we used to have jokes about it where you just, the wax pull the hair off everybody.
Wax on,
Something.
wax off.
right out.
Yep,
Oh.
yep. Like Steve Control.
Well, let me ask
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Well, that's right. That's what I was thinking of. As far as the women go, but it's much more common, and anything goes, all
Oh, yes.
areas.
Everything goes.
All right, well, that's interesting.
Yep.
And I know you can't say at this point who you're working for. You haven't discussed it with him, but he's very good. Is it
Very
he or
good.
she is very good?
Yes. it's a
Okay,
very
and what do they
prominent plastic surgeon.
what's the most common procedure that, at least in your office, that you see?
Breast.
Okay,
I'd say.
breast.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's for women, right?
yes.
Well, that's an interesting point because, I think it's actually more common that men actually have breast reductions. There are some men that have, I
Yes.
guess, reductions.
Yeah, that's
Breast reductions?
Yeah, they really do. Man get boobs, and they don't want the man boobs, so they get them
It's
removed.
called
right?
gynomastia. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, I just call them man boobs, but that's it. And the women, the most common. All right, now if you can share with us again, you're not giving away any secrets. What would you say is the most common size that women these days are opting for?
C's, definitely.
C's.
Yeah, full C's.
Nice full C's.
Full C.
What's wrong with a D?
Nothing's wrong with a D. It's just you said most common. So
Yeah,
I
it is.
would
That
say
is the
that's-
most common. It's
that
probably
is
more
common.
proportional with the body, unless maybe they got
Yes.
the hips and whatever. Everything's about proportion,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yes.
All right, I know way too much about this.
Yeah, you paid for a few of
Are
those.
you asking for yourself?
Well, yeah. Our wives are okay in that area. Thank you. Okay, and before I forget and get in all sorts of trouble, I should say today is my 11th anniversary to
Today?
the lovely Kim.
Yay! Congrats.
And that's how you're
Thank you.
celebrating it, by coming here.
I was thinking of getting my privates waxed for her, but maybe I'll think about that next week.
Wow. So where are you going to go take her to dinner?
I don't
The
know.
more
but
important question is, are you going to let her supersize it?
But the question that I asked Richard, I was going in a different direction. For levity, I was going to say, I know this is common, but my wife's time of the month seems to last about 3.5 weeks. Is it the same with you, Rich? What's going on there?
Actually, my wife's lasts the whole year.
Year round?
The whole year.
Is that a blessing or a curse?
It's a little
You
bit of
better
both.
say it's a curse. All right. Well, honey, if the bleeding stops, I'm game tonight. I'm just throwing that out there. All right. So you have no plans other than feeding the pigeons tonight, Richard?
No, tomorrow I feed the
Tomorrow
pigeons.
you feed
Saturday
the
afternoon
pigeons.
I feed the pigeons.
All right. I wish you see any movies this weekend.
I saw a movie last weekend.
What'd you see?
I saw Don't Tell Me Now. I saw that movie with
Is that
Tom
the name of the
Hanks.
movie? Don't tell me now.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, the movie with Tom
Oh,
Hanks.
Yes, I saw that one.
Captain
Saving
Phillips?
Mr. Banks.
Yes.
Oh, Saving Mr.
Saving
Banks.
Mr. Banks. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's
see
the
it?
Disney movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It wasn't one of our topics to discuss tonight, but you know that there was something recently on the news where Mr. Disney was roundly criticized. The deceased Mr. Disney
For what?
For being anti-women and anti-Semitic. Did you read that?
That's always been a rumor that he's been anti-Semitic, but they've interviewed a lot of people that have known him, and they deny it.
It's just funny. I just happened to read that, but particularly anti-women, because some famous woman actress, and I don't know who it is, and we're not going to do the story, but came out and talked about it, and apparently that was pretty well known. That I remember what it was. It had to do with the hiring of women animators.
Right.
Is that he wouldn't hire a woman animator, even though she could have been as equally good, because he said, "I want men doing that."
Well, in the movie, you know what the movie is about.
No,
So
Mary Poppins, right?
The Mary Poppins and the writer of the book, P.L. Travers.
Yeah.
So she was kind of very difficult to work with. But they finally made the movie, and at the premiere, they didn't even invite her. She found out about it and came on her own.
Mr. Disney didn't invite
Disney didn't
her?
want to invite her, and he said it in the movie because he was afraid that she might cause some trouble at the
That's
premiere.
interesting.
So he ignored her, but she found out about the premiere, of course, and came over anyway and sat in the row right in front of him.
Well, that's a fascinating way.
Giving away the ending.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, what
That
happened?
was
Most
like
people
the
know
grand
the end.
finale. Or any anime.
Is that true?
She didn't want any animation.
You know this too, Nicole?
I watched it.
movie
I
too.
love that movie. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
I
You know,
can't.
I wouldn't have picked Tom Hanks to play Walt Disney, but
What
he
are
was
you going to
okay.
do?
Yeah.
And this week, everybody's talking about the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix. That's supposed to be a
That
great
starts
movie.
I
tonight.
saw the previews.
Yeah,
he falls
yeah.
in love with his iPhone, I think.
Right. You got it actually
like
got
Siri.
4 stars in today's paper.
Yeah.
4 stars.
So I think I'm going to actually try to see that movie. So let me ask our trusty board up. Is it time to go to the first commercial?
You can.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go ahead and do it,
You
and
wanna
then
take a
we'll
break?
get underway.
Okay, we'll
let's
take a
a break.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. So stay where you are.
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins and Freedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins and Freedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at carbonneauhomerepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. This is the Know Nothing Show with practicing attorneys Alan Elkins and Rich Freedman. Elkins and Freedman have been helping folks throughout Florida for more than 30 years, and they're here now to share their knowledge and experiences with you. Stand by for more information and fun.
And we're back, everybody. You ready for some stories, Richard?
I'm ready. I'm just a little nervous because with your stories, I don't know what you're going to pull out.
Listen, Richard says this every week. I can't help it. Yes, Richard, I did find a penis story.
Oh, no.
Nicole, let me
I
ask
thought
you.
I was home free with those stories, but not
No,
another
you're
one.
not home free. You think this is going to embarrass your mom, Nicole?
No, I think she'll love it.
She'll love it. All right. Well, you know who King Tut is, right, Richard?
Of course, King Tut.
Right,
He was
that-
one of the. Isn't he buried in one of the pyramids?
Yeah, he's almost as old as your socks and underwear are.
Don't
Yes.
forget about my ties.
Yeah, King Tut, guy in Egypt buried in the pyramid.
That's right.
Now, this is why we're called the Know Nothing Show, but we say once in a while you learn a little something. And this is an absolute fact. Do you know that King Tut
Yes.
was mummified with an erect penis? 90-degree angle. I'm not making that
How
up.
did they find that out?
In history, did you ever hear that growing up in school or
No.
anything like that? Nicole, did you ever cover that in school?
No, not that exactly, but okay.
It says here
Makes sense.
researchers have long been baffled by the unusual embalming of King Tut, including have his penis mummified erect. Says a new study suggests the anomalies may have been an attempt to make King Tut appear as Osiris. Now, I don't remember who Osiris is.
Osiris, that was another
God,
one.
I think he was god of something or other. Oh, the god of the underworld. Okay, it says in an effort to
Sorry for interrupting. You probably never watched some of those Big Bird movies.
Big Bird movies.
Big movie. There was Big
Sesame
Bird,
Street?
Sesame Street, where it took place at the museum in New York City.
Yeah.
And it was the whatchamacallit.
Unless Big Bird had an erect penis. I don't know where you're going with this story, Richard.
No, but I'm
So
just
what
saying that
about
they
Big
mentioned.
Bird?
What's the name of that guy again? Not King Tut.
Tut?
No, the other guy.
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
So they mentioned it. Big
Osiris.
Bird mentioned Osiris. Okay, when they were at not the Metropolitan, but the museum, whatever it is, one of
Yeah.
those museums. Anyway, so he was mentioned by Big Bird.
So Big Bird talked about Osiris. He's the god of the underworld. That's not a guy to mess with. And it says that it was done in an effort to combat a religious revolution unleashed by the boy king's father. So it says not only did Tutankhamun, was his formal name, Tutankhamun. It says not only did he have his penis mummified at a 90-degree angle, he was also buried without a heart. They took his heart out and covered him in a thick layer of black liquid that may have caused his body to catch fire. Now, did you ever read? I also read about this, and I'm not making this up. Somebody should look it up and call in. But there are some stories that he had. I can't. There's a. It's an instant where you combust. I don't even know what the word is. You
burst
combust.
Into flames?
You burst into flames. That's it. Now I read that they say that actually happened to Tutankhamun. Now, I didn't read that in this article, but it does say here, let me say here, it says the professor at the American University in Cairo argues in a new paper that the erect penis evokes Osiris's regenerative powers, and the black liquid made Tutankhamun's skin color resemble that of Osiris, and the lost heart recalled the story of a god being cut to pieces by his brother Seth and his heart buried. I'm not quite sure where that goes, but I thought that was very interesting.
Not that interesting, but it's okay.
Not that interesting?
It's okay.
All right, let me see if there's anything else in this story. I know I'm going to be yelled at for reading the story, but it says here Tutankhamun is shown as a fully fledged Osiris, not simply a wrapped mummy. So they treated him different, I guess, so that went into the afterworld, something would happen. And here, if I had bothered to read the story before coming on air, it says the study builds on new evidence suggesting King Tut's body accidentally combusted when it was inside the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus.
That's like the coffin?
It's a coffin.
Yeah.
As revealed in a documentary. So I guess it was a documentary and saying that maybe there's embalming liquids with the liquid, but supposedly the boy burst into flames.
But not his penis?
Not
how do
his
they know
penis.
his penis lasted throughout the combustion?
Apparently it did.
Wow. That's one
I'm impressed.
Yeah, King Tut, rest in peace.
Yes.
Who knows? So
and that's the story. Rest in peace also.
Now, the good news is, Richard, that may be my only penis story for the night.
Oh, my prayers have been answered.
And you know, Nicole, now when I spoke to you, I know something interesting about you. Over New Year's, you actually took a little girls' trip, right?
I did.
Okay, you know what? We have a caller here. Let's put on. We have Vinny from New York.
Vinny from New York.
I'm with you guys. How are you?
Hey, Vinny, I got a nice Italian girl for here. Have you seen her?
No, I'm actually not listening to your show, unfortunately. I'm out to dinner, but I promised my good friend Richie Rich that I would call in. I haven't heard your show probably in, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks.
And, you know, this is probably as good time as any to say, you know, we're going to be going on Sundays, at least I think we're going on Sundays, on 93.4 FM, Real Radio, and that'll be the beginning of February. So there's no excuse, Vinny. You can listen to us. You can watch us. You know, be like you're in bed with us, so to speak.
It's like I'll end up calling in every week if you guys want. We can do a special segment, what's going on in New York.
That would be good. That'd be great. We should do a special segment. What's going on on
You
Wall
could be
Street.
our roving reporter in New York. Does that
Listen,
work?
I want to tell you guys, the French guy, right?
Yeah,
French
Frenchie.
guy.
Came from me. Half your listeners, your entire base came from me.
You're the man, Vinny. You're the man.
Before anyone else, I was spreading the word in my office. We were all tuning in. We were watching you guys live.
Now, Vinny, you said you're out to dinner, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm out to dinner in New York.
You with a girl? You with a guy? Who are you with?
No. Listen, we're not going to talk about that yet. We don't know each other well enough.
Vinny, does your wife know you're on the air with us out to dinner?
What do you mean, wife? What are you talking about?
Ah, all right. Your girlfriend. I hear somebody laughing next to you. Why don't you put her on, Vinny? Hand her the phone. Let's see who you're with.
No. I stepped out because I did promise Richie that I would call in. So
Richie was begging for calls.
Anything good yet or no?
No.
Yeah, well, we talked about King Tut. This is a true story. When King Tut was buried, he was buried with an erect penis. Did you ever know that or hear that?
Get out of here. Who buried him?
Who buried him? I don't know.
Vinny thought he was still alive.
The boy king was buried. This is the kind of thing you hear only on our show, Vinny.
I know. Well, that's why I've been tuning in. That's why I've been turning you guys on from, the French guy and all his friends. Everyone loves it.
You spread the word in the big NYC and give us a call next week, all right?
I will. All right, guys. Have fun.
Take care, Vinny. Have a good
thanks,
dinner.
Vinny.
Bye, Vinny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, now I also see we have another call on here, and it looks like it
Another
says it's Nicole's aunt. So let's
Nicole's
put Nicole's
aunt.
aunt on there. Nicole's aunt, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
And where are you calling
Hi,
us from,
Marianne.
Nicole's aunt?
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So listen, what can you tell us about Nicole that nobody knows?
They're talking about King Tut.
Yes.
And they're talking about the petrified penis.
Yes. Do you know about that?
I know all about it, but Nicole knows about it too because she was married to somebody that she didn't know was a woman or a man.
Was she
Really?
married to, wait, was she married to a dead guy with an erect penis? Is that
No,
what
she
you're
doesn't know
telling
if she
us?
was married to a woman or a man.
He had no erection, the poor boy.
Oh,
He had no erection. This show's just suddenly taken a very turn
God.
for the worse.
Oh, here we go.
So you weren't too fond of the ex-husband is what you're telling us.
Yes.
All right, that's all right. Now, what's your, let me see, your Aunt Miriam. Is that
Mary
may I see-
Ann.
Oh, Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, Aunt
Yeah.
Mary Ann, you're in Boynton Beach. How's the flooding in Boynton Beach?
Oh, we're like almost underwater.
Underwater. Hold your breath.
Were you able to get out of the house today?
It's what?
Were you able to get out of the house today?
No, not at all.
Is the water starting to subside? Those of our listeners out there, we had some really bad rains and certain areas were flooded to the point
Yeah.
people couldn't go to work today.
Lucky for
Yes,
them.
Boynton Beach is flooded very bad today.
It might not be that bad if the whole city floats away, right?
Who's going to miss
That's
Boynton
right.
Beach?
Who's going to miss Boynton?
We'll go
Anyway.
right from Delray right up to Lake
Nicole,
Worth, skip
Miss
Boynton.
Beach.
Yes, that's me, Miss Boynton Beach.
So, Marianne, do you have anything you can tell us in secret that will embarrass Nicole that you'd like to share with us? Was she a nice little kid?
Oh, she was wonderful. She saw Playboy magazines when she was 6 years old.
She sold
But
them?
she
story.
saw them, or
I sold
to
them.
little boys.
She sold them to little boys.
is that? You know,
Hey,
you
how
want
to
to know
make
the
a buck.
truth. I used to hide those too. I used to actually. I remember. I thought I was putting one
You're
over
still
my pants.
hiding. I found one in your drawer the other day.
Yeah, wait, but we used to trade them, Richard. Like some kids would trade whatever. I
Like-
trid
like
Playboys
baseball
with
cards.
my
In the
friends.
house. And she took them and sold them to all the
I would
little
trade them for
boys.
$5 each.
Well,
I
you
could
did the
smuggle
same
them out
thing.
in my fur coat.
I know that's very enterprising.
Wow.
I'm impressed. Now, where did she get the Playboys? It wasn't from you, Marianne, was it?
No, it was from her father.
Her father.
Ah, for her father. All right.
I had a secret stash.
Her father had
In the
them and
garage.
he used to hide them. And she found them and went into the neighborhood and sold them. And then we
Hey.
had all the mothers come to our house.
The mothers came to your house to complain about your niece is selling everybody in the neighborhood Playboys.
Yeah,
They were intimidated.
They didn't like it,
That's
right,
all right.
Nicole?
No, they were intimidated. I don't think.
Actually, I
They
like
handle
that
the
story.
competition.
Should
I
have
don't
kept them.
know.
They're probably worth
And
more
I'm
now
not
if you
kidding.
don't
I
sell
did
them.
the same thing. And listen, I'm going to tell you a real quick story. I can still remember this. I swapped out a Playboy with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And when he looked at it, he said, "This is my brother's girlfriend." And I said, "What are you talking
What?
about, your brother's girlfriend?" And what he did, his brother was in the service somewhere over in Europe,
Right.
sent a picture to his little brother of his, quote, girlfriend. So what happened, so when my friend saw the picture, for a second, he believed that his loser brother was actually dating a playmate. I don't know why I remember that, but I
I don't know why you
that.
remembered it either. Tell me.
I don't know. All right, it's enough story.
Gullible kid.
All right, Nicole, with that, we appreciate you calling in. She's doing a fine job.
Where's
and,
my mom, Aunt Marianne? Where's my
Your
mom?
she's intimidated. She won't get on the phone.
She won't get on the
Get
phone.
her on the phone. Come
Marianne,
on.
are you like a traditional Italian family? You have the big Sunday dinner?
Penises. I thought you would have jumped at the chance.
Hey, Jim. Is that right? All
I do
right.
jump on penises. Yes.
All right. I'll tell you what. Thank you for calling in, Marianne. Tell all the
Thank
people
you,
in
Aunt
Boynton
Marianne.
Beach to listen
Because
to
we
the
have a lot of
Elkins
listeners in
Love
Boynton
you.
Beach. You know.
Love you. Thank you.
All right. Now, for our next story, let's try to squeeze one more in and we'll go to our
You have
next
to take a break?
I got a quick
No,
one.
keep
Quick
going,
one.
Alan.
Quick article, Richard. Do you
What's that?
know how pot became legal in Colorado? You
How it
aware
became-
of that?
They passed a law.
They passed a law,
That's
so
right.
so it
I
is
was
now
talking
legal.
to a guy the other night. He told me his brother lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
People are standing in line all day to buy the stuff.
Not only saying a lie, but the story is, and maybe we'll resume after the break. But Colorado ran out of pot just 1 week after
1
legalization.
week. They didn't supply. They didn't get enough.
All right, so with that, while you potheads are out there doing whatever it is that you potheads do, we'll come back in 2 minutes.
All right, don't go away. We got more to go over.
Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in residential door and window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at carbonneauhomerepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins and Freedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins and Freedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. This is the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show. Time to get back to Alan and Rich for more. If you'd like to join in, just call in 1-800-889-0267 and become part of the show. That's 1-800-889-0267. Once again, Alan Elkins and Rich Freedman.
All right, we're working our way through the stories, and I don't know how I feel. There's
How
a
do
move
you feel, Alan?
even in New York. The last thing we were talking about was Colorado legalizing the sale of
How did they
medical
run out of pot
marijuana.
in 1 week?
1 week, they ran a lot of potheads, obviously, in Colorado.
Probably
Since
ran
we're-
out of Doritos, too.
They ran out of Doritos, too.
That's very funny. All right, here, you get one of these.
Give her the bell, yes.
That was Linda Bordop with a very pithy comment.
Yes, about Doritos.
My feeling is, I don't know.
What don't you know?
Actually, I usually have an opinion about everything, whether
Yes.
or not pot should be legalized. What do you think? What do you think?
I think it should be legalized. If alcohol can be legalized, why
Medical
can't
marijuana?
pot be legalized?
All right. What do you
I
say,
agree.
Nicole?
I agree. I think people are going to get it one way or the other if they want it, and it's good for medical reasons.
Well, the other aspect of it, I suppose, is that we take the criminality out of it. Drug dealers are making money, so I suppose that'd be a source of revenue for the states.
Well, yeah, it's I guess it's about, I think it's $400 for 1 ounce.
Is that true?
Yeah, because the tax is most of it. The tax
Most
is
of
huge.
it's tax?
Yeah, they're going to generate billions of dollars in revenue.
Crazy.
It's very
high.
interesting. Anybody else care to chime in? You think pot should be legalized? Anybody? Freddie says, give me a hit. No? What do you think? Yes, Freddie, give me a thumbs up. Lynn, what do you
said
think?
puff, puff, give.
I don't know.
I don't understand the concept of how they're monitoring it and, people are buying stock in it. And I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's like in California. If you've been to California, they sell it on every street corner.
You're talking about illegal, you mean?
No, legally.
I thought you have to buy it at one of those
No,
medical places.
You show up and I think you sign something saying that you have an ailment. Like you started hiccuping. I need medical marijuana.
Right.
It's very easy to
But
get.
Colorado,
doctors
it's not medical marijuana. It's just marijuana for
No,
everybody.
it's I don't know.
Not in
It's
Colorado. It's
well,
medical.
you're right. It's marijuana.
It's
Period.
recreational.
But I think you can only possess it, from what I remember, I think in your house. But it says that they've run out of recreational cannabis. That's what it says.
Now they have to go to medical cannabis.
I suppose so.
Now you got to pay a doctor.
Yes.
That's
So
what it's all
anyway,
about.
That's story number 2. So moving right along now, and just as a side note, I thought this was reprehensible, but I just read an article. coming online, and that was simply that somebody got a dog high. Dog tested positive.
For marijuana?
I should have had it for marijuana and cocaine, so some moron went ahead and gave it. And people like that, I tell you.
Oh, there's a dog on our screen.
I say shoot them. All right, but before we talk about
shoot the
shooting
dog or
people,
shoot the people?
I have a call. The next article I'm going to get to, caller, I'll be right there, but a man dies after being given an atomic wedgie. Okay, but before...
Only on this station.
Are you going to hear about atomic
stories like
wedgies?
Nowhere else.
In the meantime, I see we have now, it says Nicole's mom.
Yay!
So Nicole's mom, what do you got to bring to this
No, we want
fascinating
dirt.
discussion?
Give us some dirt on your daughter.
Tell us, Nicole's mom, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What kind of accent is that?
Where are you from? Where are you from? Memphis?
You look like Howard Stern, and Nicole looks like Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the other guy, who's the other guy? He looks like Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Oh, wow.
How did
That's a
you
whole
guess?
movie cast.
You know, it's kind of interesting. You know, the first thought that comes to my mind
That's
is
my
your
husband.
mother's blind in all respects. Nothing personal, but my hair is white. Howard Stern has long, dark hair.
Bleach it. Bleach your hair. You look just like him.
Well, all right,
facial
maybe. I don't know.
features.
Let me turn to the side. My nose, I don't know. I don't think I have
you
a big...
put a fake nose on. You know, one of those things with the glasses and the nose.
So listen,
But
tell
I
us,
look like Michael Douglas.
tell us something
Yes.
about your daughter.
Thank
now,
you.
listen, I heard
Hold it. Michael Douglas and Catherine
We're married,
Zeta-Jones
you know.
are married.
Yes.
So I guess we're
My
married.
husband
You know
over
what?
here.
Yes.
You got to go on, like, TV at night.
Well, we should. We're
TV.
sitting here with our
How are we going to
producer.
get anybody to put us on TV?
Listen.
Are we good enough for
I got
TV?
some connections, you know?
Listen, the
Look it
truth
up,
is,
Mom.
I don't know
Look
if we
it
know
up.
anybody that has connections.
the truth is, Nicole's mom, we'll be lucky if we're back in the studio next week. But
Okay.
but seriously, we love what we're doing. And by the way, I misspoke.
You know what to do.
Nicole's mom, beginning February 1st, you can actually listen to us on Real Radio 94.3.
Not
I like that, but I want to see
93.4?
you on television.
All right, well that's good. I think
Right.
we are. We're fine-looking individuals who
That'll
deserve
be so
it.
funny.
Aren't we?
We do our best.
We should have
All
our own
right,
show.
I love
I think
it.
it would be a hit.
All
right.
right, carry on, like they say in jolly old England.
All right, yes, we shall carry on. The
Thanks,
last thing I'm going to
Mommy.
ask you, are you happy your daughter's single now? What'd you think of the ex?
Oh, what a dick. He was so dick.
What you meant to
King
say
Tut
is
had
his
it all over him. Let me tell
Nicole's
you.
mom. Nicole's mom. What you meant to say is his name is Dick. Okay. All right. Nice speaking to you, and we'll talk to you next
Richard.
week.
Oh, Richard.
Richard. That was Richard. All right. Goodbye, Nicole's mom.
Love
See
you.
you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. So now we'll talk about the atomic wedgie. Now, everybody out there, even last week, for instance, Nicole, Richard didn't know what a selfie was. What else didn't you know? You didn't know a selfie.
How do you
There
not
were
know
about
what
a half a
selfie
dozen
is?
words that are commonly used. He didn't know what twerking was. Richard didn't know
Hey,
what
you
twerking
gotta
was.
watch Saturday Night Live and see Miley Cyrus. You
I
know
know.
what that is
Twerking.
in,
I go to bed
Video
before that
Music
show
Awards.
goes on.
And
But Richard's old enough that he knows what a wedgie is.
Well, of course. When I went to camp, they used to do that all the time.
To you, no doubt.
Of course. Who else?
All right, so anybody that's listening that doesn't know what a wedgie is simply when you take the back of the underpants and you lift them up as high as you can possibly lift them. Okay, until the other person is screaming out in excruciating pain. So here's the story, everybody.
It better be a good one.
And this is out of Oklahoma. Police say a man died after being given an atomic wedgie by his stepson. The police officer says, I'd never seen this before. When we first looked at our victim, the waistband of his underpants were around his neck. Okay? So visualize that. You're pulling up the underwear far enough that it actually goes around your neck. The victim, it says, and his name was Denver Lee St. Clair, was already dead when police found him in his home. It says his stepson told investigators that there was an altercation that happened when he went to the house. Okay, you want me to keep reading? You finding this fascinating? Not
really, but go on a little bit more.
All right. It says there was a fight, and it says that he had his underwear pulled so high up over his back and over his head around his neck that he choked to death. He I can't pronounce it, asphyxiated.
Wow.
Okay, he was
Did
suffocated.
they charge the kid with
Yes, they did.
murder?
So he was suffocated by his own underwear.
would you defend this guy?
No, I don't think I
Well,
would.
of course, there could be more to the story. Maybe the other guy, the stepfather, did something to him that precipitated this.
Well, that's what he's going to. Is there possibly a self-defense to an atomic wedgie? says he faces murder charges. It says it's not clear what sparked the argument. It says the two men had been drinking, so we know there was alcohol involved.
Oh,
and it says that actually that the stepfather may have insulted his wife, and I guess that the stepson took issue with that and atomic wedgied his stepdad. So I find that to be a fascinating story.
Messes with the
Cross
mother.
that off your list.
Cross that
Thanks.
off the list. Now, I have a serious story that I can talk about, a legal story.
A legal
Or,
story.
since I know that I still have Nicole's aunt and mom on the phone, and I know that Nicole is a rather filthy young lady, I have one more story to go to. Okay?
All right, go ahead.
Richard,
Lay it on us.
it's only fair that if we have a penis story, that I read this next story. And I think that our crackjack producer actually has a picture of this. There is
I'm
a
afraid
woman.
to look.
There is a woman. Her name is Jennifer McCarthy. I am going to read the caption, and there's her mugshot. Anybody looking at this at elkinsandfriedman.com.
This is a true story, right? You're not making this up.
No, it says she pulled a gun from her vagina after a dispute over space aliens. Now you'd
Okay.
say, Alan, where do you get such a story?
Alan, where do you get such a story?
This is from our friends at the Huffington Post. This is a real story, and what's interesting, this isn't just some, slob off the street. It says
No.
she's the ex-wife of a Pulitzer Prize-winning author named Cormac McCarthy.
What did he write?
Actually, it'll probably tell us if I read the story. She was arrested after allegedly whipping a gun, and I'm reading this verbatim, out of her vagina and threatening her boyfriend. So, and the best part of it, you got to understand what
We haven't
drives.
gotten to the best part yet.
I'm sure there was alcohol or maybe pot, who knows?
Wow.
But although I don't think a person smoking
Not
pot would
pot,
necessarily,
no.
probably
Right,
alcohol.
probably not.
Pretty mellowed out.
But they were
Yeah.
talking, although you know what? They were talking about space aliens. So if they're having a discussion
what
about
other kind
aliens.
of aliens are there except for space aliens?
Well, you're right. Well, there are a
We have
couple.
people from South America.
You want the
maybe?
joke? I would say
illegal
crossing the
aliens?
border in Mexico, because this is a story out of where.
Oh, my
All right, but anyway, if you think about it, if they're having a discussion about aliens, yeah, it's all right. Maybe they were a little tipsy or a little high.
But how does it rise to that level that you pull out that gun?
I know.
What
How did
size
the gun
pistol
get
was
there?
it?
Yeah, what was it? It wasn't a rifle.
it a
And
knife?
you know what? She lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Beautiful area. One of the
They get a
prettiest
lot
areas.
of aliens there in Santa
It-
Fe, I've heard.
Have you been to Santa Fe? It's
No,
gorgeous.
it's
friend's
New
from
Mexico.
there,
No, but
but
remember,
no.
New Mexico
I've
is
been there
where all
many
the
a time.
aliens from outer space came.
Well,
Remember?
Area 51, which
Yeah.
is out, I believe, in Roswell,
Right,
New
Roswell,
Mexico,
Roswell.
Richard.
That's a very
That's right.
So maybe that's a common
Popular
And they were
topic.
probably talking about aliens.
So here's what it says. It says McCarthy left her Santa Fe residence and came back, I guess, in front of her lover in lingerie. It says the outfit was accessorized by a silver handgun placed over her private area, which she then began to have relations with. See, Freddie, I'm being good. I'm saying which she began to have relations with, according to the affidavit. While cleaning the chamber, that's what it says, she posed the question to her boyfriend, "Who's crazy now, me or you?" That was her quote. And then she pulled out the gun, pointed at her boyfriend's head. It says the boyfriend wrestled the gun away from her and put it first in the toilet, then in the trash can. I don't know the relevance to putting it first in the toilet, then in the
But,
trash.
so what did they charge you with?
I can't think of anything funny, but I'm sure she was displaying an obscene weapon. There's got to be a joke there.
For
Great.
concealing?
Illegal use of a
displaying.
firearm.
Here it is. I got the answer to the question, Richard, if I had read 2 paragraphs. She was charged with aggravated assault on a household member. And the truth is, she was trying to perform an assault on his member.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right. Are we ready for our next break, Lynn? I'd say it's
Yeah,
time.
I think we need one.
All right, there you go. We'll go to our last break.
All right, don't go away. We got more to come. Stay right where you are.
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins and Freedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results results. And they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins and Freedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in residential door and window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windoor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at CarbonneauHomeRepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. You're listening to the Alan Elkins and Rich Freedman Know Nothing Show with two longtime attorneys who are here to share their experience and knowledge and some fun along the way. The toll-free number, if you want to participate, is 1-800-889-0267.
And we're back, everybody, for our last segment here.
This past segment was pretty good. I kind of enjoyed
thank you,
myself.
Richard. You enjoyed yourself?
Yes, I did.
I'm glad. That's why I'm here. All right. This next story I actually pulled off the internet today, and it takes place in Australia, and I couldn't get over
With
this.
Australia, we've had a lot of stories from Australia.
I have had a lot
What
of
goes on in that
stories.
country? I guess they call it down under for a good reason.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I have been to Australia. The people are probably the friendliest. If I had to live in another country, well, I'd probably choose Italy first, or maybe France. But close up on the list is Australia.
Not New
People are the
Zealand,
nicest.
Australia.
No, in New Zealand, there aren't very many people. I've done New Zealand stories. In fact, I saw a story about New Zealand, which I'm bypassing, and I'm reading you a story coming from Darwin, Australia. Here is the story.
Okay.
Doctors pull an inch-long cockroach from a man's ear after it burrowed in his ear while he slept. And what happened, when he got up, he realized something was in his ear. He took a vacuum cleaner. He felt something in his ear, tried to dig it out, couldn't. It shows a picture of what I have here. And anybody look on screen, you see a roach, which is an inch long.
And you people that don't see it on the screen, just close your eyes and imagine.
Yeah, visualize it. And it shows a picture of a Dyson vacuum cleaner with all that suction.
Well, if you're going to use a vacuum, that's the one to use.
That's right. So what he did, he tried to suck the cockroach out of his ear.
Did he get it?
Now, how disgusting is that? No, he didn't get it.
God.
And it says that he was forced to seek help from a doctor. So he goes to the doctor. And by the way,
You know what I just thought of tonight when I go to bed? I'm wearing these headphones.
That's a good idea,
I'm wearing
Richard.
them to bed because I don't want to have
Get
anything
some
like that crawling
earplugs.
in my ear.
And it has the dual purpose of turning out the misses, too.
Of course.
All right. So it says a doctor. Let me see here. It says, I'm going to read his name. It says, poor Hendrik Helmer. That's his name, Hendrik Helmer from Darwin, revealed that he was forced to seek help from a doctor after a cockroach burrowed into his right ear while he was asleep and refused to come out. So he puts his vacuum cleaner up to his ear. He's sucking away, and the bug won't come out.
So what is a man to do when this happens?
What he does, you run to your doctor, and you also run to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, which is what he did. It says he told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that at first he was worried. He didn't know what it was. He thought maybe it was a spider, because there are many in Australia, had burrowed its way into the ear canal. So it says he tried to suck the critter out with a vacuum cleaner. When that failed, he got his flatmate to seek medical help. They thought the insect was small, so the doctor first put olive oil down his ear. Okay, so they poured olive oil out there, maybe thinking that it would slide right out.
Makes sense.
Does make sense. Also makes for a lovely meal, I suppose.
Right, you can make a little salad when you're done.
You could. It says, but that only made matters worse because it says the cockroach burrowed itself in further.
How far in can you go?
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, you can't come out the other end, can you?
Didn't come out the other end. It says near the 10-minute mark. I guess they're timing it. It says the roach stopped burrowing, but he was still in the throes of death twitching. So maybe the roach is drowning in the olive oil.
The olive oil.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. It says the doctor eventually pulled the roach out with forceps and was astonished at the size. It was an inch long.
It's not only
my
inch long,
God.
it's also wide. I mean, that
It is
cockroach
wide.
on the screen looks like it's about 10 pounds.
You know, it's so interesting. You think about it. So inch long. You know those roaches, somehow they can slip
I know.
under the
Just a
tiniest little crevice.
You know why? Because they don't have a skeleton like humans do.
Is that true? Then you're also teaching us something, Richard, on the Know Nothing
Yeah, I hope
show.
I don't get into that habit.
They don't
too
have a
much.
skeletal
They have no skeleton. So there's really, they can squish themselves basically flat
Is that right?
and then pop up again.
Well, that's fascinating, Richard. So there is our
They say
cockroach story.
cockroaches will live through the apocalypse.
Well, that's true, too. You
They're the
can't
only
kill
thing
them.
that will survive.
I think they've been here as long as any
They will
critter on the
populate the
planet
planet.
Earth.
So when the
It's
rest
true.
of the world is gone, they'll still be here.
The roaches will
the
be
roach
here.
planet.
Now, let me see here. We have a few more stories to bring
Do you
home.
have a story about a little kid that walks around the house swearing at everybody?
That is true, Richard.
You do have a story like that.
And by the way, my wife tuned in 20 minutes late. Honey, if you had listened to the show, you would have seen I gave proper props for her anniversary. So that's what you get for tuning in late. But yes, I let the listening audience know it is my anniversary and I am happily married. All right, I will be home later. And I also said that you have your period on average about 27 out of the 30 days of the month.
Yes, you did
I
say that.
embarrassed you.
Nice.
I did.
Not
Yeah.
nice.
That's
I
not
got to
nice.
stick up for the women out there.
It's not
That
nice,
is
is
not
it?
cool.
Well, Nicole,
But if it's true, it's true.
Now,
What do
wait
you
a minute.
want?
We brought a woman on the show for a reason.
Exactly.
Nicole, is it not true that there have been times in the past where you use the old time of the month excuse?
Oh, well, every once in a while.
Every once in a
It's better
while.
than the headache excuse, I guess.
And the headache excuse. Yeah, it can be another show with Nicole. She can tell us all the excuses that she's
excuses.
used to shoot guys down. All right.
That'll
well,
be a show, right?
can write a
that'll
book
be,
on that
That'll be a
one.
whole hour just on that.
now, listen, Richard
Yes.
was talking about the swearing toddler.
Yeah,
and
tell me about the
apparently
swearing toddler.
The swearing toddler has been all over the news because this little tyke, and the most interesting thing I found out about this little toddler is his mother is a whopping 16 years old.
16. How old
She's
is the little
16.
toddler?
Little toddler, if he's a toddler, by definition, he's probably got to be, what, 2-3 years old?
Yeah, a
So
year or two.
she had the baby when
So,
she
Mom,
was
so
12 years old?
Yeah, so we're talking about some class individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
Says in a video that's drawn national attention, a Nebraska toddler was encouraged to swear and say racial slurs by adults filming him. Though police in Omaha said nothing in the video was
Let me ask you, did the kid know he was being filmed?
By the way, while I'm reading this story, my wife is now insulting my manhood. She's texting me messages.
That's
Thanks,
what you
honey.
get.
Let me ask you something. This little kid was being filmed by his parents?
Being filmed.
But did he know he was being filmed?
Oh, Richard's talking about the laws about illegally filming somebody because we have a case now involving that. So Richard made a comment which the listening audience wouldn't understand, but just so you know, we'll throw it out there. It's always you. Both people have to consent to being either taped or eavesdropped
Or
on.
being aware of it?
Or being aware of it in general, unless it's out in the public domain. In other words, if there's no expectation of privacy.
Right.
So don't go filming anybody doing anything unless they're aware of it or you're out in the public.
Right. So that's our little legal
That's our
information for
tidbit.
tonight.
That's our tidbit of the day. And by the way, we're excellent attorneys. Am I not an excellent attorney, Nicole?
Oh, you're the best attorney
What did he
I've
do
ever
for you?
had.
What did he do for you?
He helped me with my divorce and get a little money out of my husband recently.
That's right. All right,
so
Ex-husband.
We
Thank
squeezed
you.
until it hurt, Nicole.
That's
did
right.
we not? All
My
right.
extortion.
So anyway, this
Thank
little
you.
little toddler says, though police in Omaha said nothing in the video was illegal, Child Protective Services took the boy into custody along with 3 other children. Now, I hate to think...
What other children?
If she's 16, that she has a toddler and other children. Maybe the other children in the household, but this 16-year-old... They had 3 other children. They've been taken into protective custody. It says, turns out the toddler's mother was one of those other 3 minors in custody because she's just 16.
Oh, that's right.
That's
She's a
sad.
minor also.
Yeah.
And she sat down with a TV station in Omaha and says, quote, for everybody that thinks I'm a bad mother, I'm not. I'm a good mother to my son, and I teach him a lot.
Let me ask you something. So they're doing an investigation. They're probably doing a home study.
They are doing a home
And I
study.
bet they won't let the kids go back to the mother until the home study is completed.
Richard's also referring to one of our legal cases. That's right, Richard. It's not unusual that if a child is at risk, that the authorities will come in and have to do a proper home evaluation to determine
Before
if
they
that
let the
child's at
child
risk.
go back. Right.
All right. Well, thanks, Richard. Good luck with your court hearing on Monday.
Thank you.
All right. So while we're doing that, quickly, we've got another couple minutes, right? We've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. What can we do in 3 minutes?
Well, listen. Here's what I'll give you your choice. Here's
that?
the story. Texas firefighter puts out blaze with beer. That's one choice. Here's another possible story.
What's that?
Cheesy problem. Kraft Foods warns of a possible Velveeta shortage.
Let's talk about that.
God
I'm always
help us.
concerned about a Velveeta shortage.
I happen to like
I woke up
Velveeta.
last night worried about a Velveeta shortage.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty cheesy.
That is cheesy.
to say.
Yeah.
So tell me about the shortage.
All right. And by the way, the first time I ever had Velveeta cheese, which when I was in college, and my roommate, Mr. Merle, who is in our employ,
Yeah.
okay, actually was the first time he bought Velveeta and brought it into our dorm room. I'd heard
Well, it's
of
not
Velveeta,
really
but I'd
cheese.
never
It's a
eaten it.
cheese product or a cheese food.
I
It's
don't
not
know,
cheese.
Richard. It's a cheese byproduct.
Yeah, it's like a cheese food. It's not really cheese. If you look at the box, I don't think it just says Velveeta cheese.
You know, it says there's a legitimate season for Velveeta, and right now in the U.S. it is in very high demand.
You know why? They melted it, and then they put it in that big bowl, and people dip their chips
And
with it.
coincidentally, they're doing
The
that.
quesos.
The first state that ran out was Colorado on their Doritos
course.
while they were getting hot.
So that means they ran out of
That makes
Velveeta
sense.
cheese also.
That's right.
They
Well, that
better
was
get
the
enough
joke.
because
Hotheads
remember
out
now when
there.
the Super Bowl comes, everybody has these parties, and they have that Velveeta cheese dip.
Says it's possible consumers may not be able to find it on the store shelves for the next couple weeks, so they better get it by Super Bowl time. As a matter of fact, it says the NFL Football League playoffs began last weekend, and they're actually very concerned. This is something that
They're
would
not
have gone.
concerned about the head injuries that the players are getting,
Nah.
but they're concerned about the Velveeta shortage.
That's true. So here, we covered that story anyway.
Yes.
Now, other stories, I can try to get into the serious story with a minute left, and I will.
When did we ever have a serious story on this show?
All right, you know what? I'm going to do it. I won't talk about the man that crashed into a gas station because this moron was stealing a banana. I won't do that story tonight.
Stealing a banana.
Nor will I talk about meat in South China being pumped with pond water to swell it up, make it more sellable.
Wow.
Okay? I will talk about this very quickly. There is a sex offender who's applying for admission to the Kentucky bar. Okay? Uh-oh, I hear them. Yeah, I
Let's
got
finish
1
that
minute.
story next week. Do we have a minute? No?
I am going to have 1 minute.
1 minute.
There's a guy named Guy. Got that? A guy named Guy. He graduated in the top third of his law school class at the University of Kentucky, but the Supreme Court's blocked him from taking the bar exam because he is a registered sex offender. It's kind of fascinating, and I
Yeah.
would like your take on it, Richard, but unfortunately we don't have any time. We
darn
just
it.
seem to run out of time. But just so the audience knows, you can read this. We'll talk about it next week, but apparently he was arrested for child porn in 2007. So I don't
like a
know. We'll have to
typical
discuss
lawyer
that next week.
Yeah, we will.
Serious story.
So all you listeners, come back next week and listen to us.
Can we end the fun now, Lynn, or is it over?
5
You
seconds?
have 5 seconds?
10
10
seconds.
seconds.
Nicole, anything you want to share
I
with
just
our
want
audience?
to thank you guys for
have you had a
breaking
good
me
time?
in tonight. I had a great time.
All right, hope
to
you'll
be
come back. Hope
And you
you
said
come
you'll
back
bring
next
back
week.
your
All
wild
right,
friends?
I'll bring my cute girls next week,
You
hopefully.
bring your girls.
Can't wait. All right,
Good night,
everybody.
Wave goodbye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show, where maybe you learned a little something in spite of them. To reach Alan Elkins or Rich Freedman at their offices, call 954-772-6014 or 561-738-5988. Out of area, call toll-free 1-800-922-1277 or go online to elkinsandfreedman.com. Freedman is spelled with 2 E's. Be back here next week for more from Elkins and Freedman and their Know Nothing Show.